What's going on, y'all? This is Mike Brown, and I just wanted to say I hope you and all your loved ones are safe right now. Thank you guys for listening to the show and tuning into the show every week. I appreciate y'all so much for being on this journey with me. And also, if you like the show, please subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast. And also, please leave a comment. Let other people know what you think. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is Mike Brown. This is the Art of Letting Go. Yo, what up? This is Mike Brown, and this is the Art of Letting Go. We made it, y'all. We made it to 100 episodes. So crazy, because, it just was not expected. Still taking it in and trying to see what that even means to me. But before we get started, I wanted to take 3 breaths because I'm feeling kind of charged up a little bit, just kind of excited. So if everybody could close their eyes or you could keep them open, we're gonna take 3 breaths together, and we're gonna get this show rolling. So breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's breathe in one more time. And let it go. Man, as you can see, I'm in a new space. That's why I'm recording inside today. Made some moves out in Hollywood now. But man, I really wanted to thank all of y'all for being on this journey with me. Everybody that has ever been on the show, listened to the show, sent me an email about the show. Whatever you get out of this experience, I'm so appreciative because y'all really helped me work through a whole lot of things. I'm really speechless right now because this is the most consistent that I've probably been with anything in my life. And even when it's been hard, like it's been a lot of days where I just don't feel like recording or putting out an episode, but some kind of way I find a way to still stick to doing it. And I know I've taken breaks, and that's just something in life that I feel like we all have to do. This is so crazy. I don't feel like I've really checked in since quarantine, by myself. And it's been a journey. It's been a learning process, a healing process, and I've been getting through it. We all been getting through it. Shit, if you here listening to this podcast, like you made it this far, congratulations. Because life really feels like a game, and I feel like I'm choosing what game I want to play now. I don't remember how much I shared with you guys before, but my mind is starting to shift. During this time, like I really feel like my computer, which is my brain, had a hard reset, back to the factory reset, and I got to choose what I wanted to reload on my computer, and really letting go of the shit that I didn't want to hold on to. And I'm not going to say that it just happened so easy and it just, sprung up on me overnight. But, there are things that I recognize that were like pre-Rona habits and pre-Rona traits. And, now being in, the quarantine or whatever you want to call these times that we in right now, the racist quarantine, whatever, But, it has shown me that I can live the way I want to. And I've just seen my lifestyle shift. You know, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day, and I journal, I read, I pray. Sometimes I forget to pray. Sometimes I skip meditation too, but for the most part, I try to get those in, and I stretch, and I walk every day. And I feel like a older grown man. Like, I really feel real grown doing that stuff, but I know that it's what's best for me. And I really had to deal with some shit to get to this level. You know, it ain't no coping mechanisms right now. Well, you know, at least out here in LA, it don't feel like I can just run to wherever I used to run to, and I really have to deal with my shit. And it's been a beautiful process. It's been a beautiful experience. You know, it's been times that I've cried, you know, because of things inside of me, and it's been times that I've cried because of shit outside of me. You know, rest in peace to George Floyd, because it's been so many times that, and what's so crazy is, you know, just thinking about the racism shit. Like, I've been seeing this shit since I was in elementary school, so my mind, it just immediately just feels like, you know, okay, just this happens. It's been happening forever, and sometimes I just kind of blank out to it. But I think, like I said, being at home and being in those thoughts, like, it really, and not being able to go run nowhere, like not being able to, you know, just go hang out or just distract myself with work or anything. I really had to sit there and deal with all the feelings, and I felt a whole lot of anger. Felt some sadness, and it got to a point where I had to start telling myself, like, I'm not going to let racism control my feelings like that, because it can't. And you know, now I see myself moving different, and not to say that the shit is non-existent, because yeah, it's definitely there, but my role and my reaction to it is what's changing. And what I really am trying to do, and it's what I've been trying to do, but being more conscious in my effort and my purpose, is really to inspire people and encourage people. You know, I can't say that I'm really out here frontline at the protest and shit like that. And shout out to everybody that is. You know, I see a lot of my close friends like really being out there all the time. And it's so dope. It's so dope to see. And, you know, seeing so many people doing the same thing, it kind of did make me question at first, like, what am I supposed to be doing? What is my role in this fight? And, you know, I am playing my role. I feel like me being here and sharing my experiences and what I'm going through and podcasting and all that shit is to replenish the people that's out there on the front lines, you know. So I'm here for y'all, and I'm here with y'all. And yeah, I had to get that out, and I don't even know where I was going with that, but, you know, like I said, this time has been teaching me and showing me so much, and the time of doing this podcast has been teaching me and showing me so much, and just seeing my progression and just the progression of this show. Shout out Alpha, you know, like, I was definitely scared to do this shit by myself, and he stepped up and did it with me, and there was like no real plan or formula. Like, I just needed to get thoughts out and get out of my head, and, you know, that was the way. And it was dope to have somebody on that journey with me that wasn't afraid, like, just was really down to go in the dirt with me. And I appreciate that. I really do. And I think for myself, you know, as I started doing it more, I started becoming more and more passionate about it. And it just it just gave me like tunnel vision as you know, and maybe not tunnel vision, but as D1 says, mission vision. Like I was really driven on what I was doing. And I think it was challenging for us, you know, with life and passion and having multiple passions. And, you know, my life was simplified and it still is simplified. And, you know, looking at Alpha's life, like it was definitely gonna be a challenge for us to blow this up and to, you know, for him manage a family and kids, and like that's a lot, you know. And I never wanted to feel like anybody was holding me back, but I also didn't want to put too much pressure on him as far as like just like being as dedicated to this shit as I am, because, you know, I don't have responsibility, like real responsibility, you know, but that's still my brother for life. And yeah, like last year just started doing this shit by myself, and it's just it's been interesting, and it's been exciting because I was definitely scared to do this by myself, and life still pushed me to do this by myself, and I had to accept that. You know, I really didn't know what was going to happen to this show when Alpha left, and not left, but like, you know, yeah, I just didn't know what was going to happen to me podcasting. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to change the name of the show or keep it going, but I did. I kept it going, and that's what brought us here. You know, one of the biggest lessons that I learned during this time has been that everything doesn't have to be shared publicly. Sometimes you go through real shit and it ain't meant to be worked out publicly. Sometimes you have to take some time to really deal with the shit and work through it so that you can, you know, like be clearly healed from it. Like I definitely have had some experiences that I didn't podcast or share, or I shared later just because I had to like figure it out for myself before I could bring it here. You know, sometimes the feelings might be too raw for a podcast, you know. And I'm back in therapy. Like, this is amazing and I really enjoy it still, but I also enjoy like having that private space to communicate and, you know, just share some of my thoughts and feelings that I don't always feel like I could share everywhere. I mean, I do as much as I can, but yeah, sometimes you do need another outlet, and that the therapy has been my outlet to this because this started as my outlet because I didn't have therapy, which is cool. But I had some questions that I was asked. I put a post on Instagram basically just sharing that I would be doing this 100th episode. I didn't even know what a 100th episode would look like, but this is it. And I was asked, I think somebody asked me, what would I tell my younger self about his future? And what I would tell younger me about the future is life is dope and it's going to keep getting doper. You just have to keep being yourself and keep unlocking more of who you are. Maybe that's what I would tell myself. I don't know. Nah, I would probably tell myself, like, to get through all this shit, just be you and trust you because I really do feel like that. Like, I've gotten this far by simply just being myself. What was the other question? The other question, I couldn't really tell what it was because the way it was worded, it was written out as, have you ever been loved? Which, no, it said, have you ever been loved? And I didn't know if it meant like, had I been loved, or, you know, have I ever loved somebody? And I would say, yeah, to all of those. I would say I am love because I give love and I receive love. But also, yeah, I've definitely been loved, like, romantically, but by my family, by my friends, like, and that love just feels so real. And not to say that romantic love don't feel real, but when your family and your friends love you, and people just love you authentically, don't nothing feel like that. The whole romantic love thing, like, I don't know how authentic it can truly be. Like, when I think about romantic love, it definitely feels like a game of, like, trying to please and impress. So, maybe I may experience it different. I feel like I've experienced it different. Like, I feel like I have loved other people and other people have loved me in the best ways that, we knew how at those points in our life. So I hope that answered that question. And the last question that somebody had asked was, I should have wrote these down, but I do remember them too. I got really good memory. What is next for me in life? And that is a question that I feel like is getting answered every day, and I'm getting clearer and clearer on what it looks like, because it had like everything, relationship, podcast, and all that. With this podcast, it's gonna keep growing, and I'm looking for sponsorship. I'm looking for to work with people that can make this process easier for me, and really blowing this up into having like my own network or my own production of like just shows, because I be having so many ideas of things that I want to do, and sometimes it's a lot to execute them all by myself. So yeah, I guess I have to be open to working with other people as well, and trust. I have to trust people I have to trust people with my ideas and my vision, because a lot of times I be seeing things one way and just kind of being not really stuck in it, but I see it so clear that it really be hard for me to see it any other way. So I have to just be more open when it comes to working with people. But yeah, network. Man, in life, I see myself like just continuing to grow, and in whatever ways that looks like. Like, I definitely will be doing some stuff with, my community. And when I say my community, like going back to Houston and like just giving back to the people that made me who I am. Like, it's a trip being out here in LA because the lifestyle is so different, but just, it's so many of my friends and my family from back home that I talk to, and I just see how much they believe in me, and I just want to, help them, not just my family and friends, but like, a lot of people in the city to believe in themselves, because, if I can make it this far, shit, I know people that believe in themselves could make it even further, because, a lot of this was pushing through fear. So I hope that, everybody in Houston, in New Orleans, in the South, know that you can do whatever you want to do. It's just a matter of doing it. But yeah, that's all I got. You know, I usually ask my guests what's one piece of advice that they could give to the listeners. And like what I just said, I guess kind of tied into what I was going to share with you guys is just don't be afraid to do anything. Don't be afraid to fail, because there is no failure when you on the journey of learning lessons. You ain't got to rush. You can take your time, but just do it. That's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all so much for listening to this podcast. Wherever you listen to this podcast, however you listen to this podcast, shout out everybody listening to it locally. Shout out everybody listening to it internationally. Shout out all the women. Shout out all the men. Shout out all the friends that I've made through this podcast, both online and in person. Like, y'all just don't even know how much y'all mean to me and just how much y'all have helped me grow in my journey. I can't say that enough. So appreciative of y'all. Thank y'all for listening. This is Mike Brown, and this is episode 100 of The Art of Letting Go. Peace, y'all. And I love y'all. Thank you. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Art of Letting Go. If you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe to us wherever you listen to this podcast and leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let other people know what you think as well. If you want to get in touch with us, hit us up on all social media at The Art of Letting Go Podcast. Also, you can send me an email, theartoflettinggopodcast@gmail.com, or give us a call. Leave a message. We might play it on the show. 213-394-2773. Also, if you would like to support The Art of Letting Go, we got some really cool merch, as well as we're now on Patreon. You can find us, The Art of Letting Go Podcast. Subscribe to us. Thank you guys for listening. This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go.